Hi Pisces, welcome back. It's Rebecca Gabrielle here. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel Living with Spice. We're going to do a general weekly card reading for the week of the 13th through to the 19th of April. We're going to see what energies are coming up for you this week. It is a general reading, so it may not resonate with everybody. However, if it does, take what fits for your situation and leave what doesn't. If you'd like to have a personal reading specific to your circumstances, my details are in the description box below. And of course, if you find this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. The more people I have subscribed, the easier and it is for me to make these videos available to more people, which means more people get to benefit. All right, stay tuned and let's get started with your reading, Pisces. Okay, Pisces, we're going to start the reading using the Angel Tarot deck. So we're going to ask Spirit, what is in store for Pisces this week coming? What can Pisces be expecting in terms of energy for the week? No, it's too many there. In terms of energy for the week, I've got two. We need one more, thank you, Spirit. One more card for Pisces. Such a big deck. It's okay, we'll work with it. So thank you, Spirit. Here we go. You're very busy at the moment, Pisces. There's a lot going on in your world at the moment, and you're having to work very hard for what it is that you want, but that's a good thing. So you're putting in a lot of effort right now, Pisces. So we're starting off with the Seven of Fire here. So this is indicating to me that there's a few little battles going on, some challenges that you're experiencing, and it's got you all fired up somewhat, Pisces. And you have this desire to defend yourself. And you feel like there's some decisions that need to be made. So feel like you're kind of in the hot spot a little bit here, and there's stuff going on and choices to be made, decisions to be made, and you really feel like you need to stand your ground. And so and there's probably good reason for that. You've got some very important things going on in your life right now, and you need to make some big decisions. So the warning here, though, Pisces, is that whilst this is happening in your life, just choose your battles wisely. Do your best to not go into battle mode and to not react to situations or to other people or respond defensively or impulsively. Okay, there's always a better way to do things. So whilst you are in the hot seat and you've got a lot of things going on here for you, yes, it's important to stand your ground. Yes, it's important to be clear about what you're defending and why you're defending it, not just as a reaction, but because you're purpose-filled here. So there's going to be some situations that are more important than others. Be very clear about what you choose to defend and what you choose to let go. Because if we're in a situation where we're having a contentious discussion with someone and someone is a little bit more hot-headed, then recognize where the energy is coming from. Is it yours? Is it your stuff that you're having to deal with? Or is it theirs? So where possible, use your logic, not your emotion, because I think you're going to be poked and prodded a little bit this week, and sort of being forewarned is a good thing. So when the situation does come up and you know that you've got to have some heated discussions potentially, be calm, be cool, know ahead of time what outcome you want. And Pisces, if you have done the work, you would have been practiced in this, but we are human and sometimes we do react when someone pokes us. So being forewarned and forearmed is good preparation in terms of how you want to manage this and the ultimate outcome. So even if we have to work hard to get there, it's possible. So yes, it's a bit of a fiery week, and you are working towards something that you believe in is important. Know your outcome, but be prepared to be flexible in how you get there. There's always a better way than a bull in a china shop. We don't want to be doing that. So that's good information to know ahead of time. And then it's followed by the Emperor energy, which is fabulous because that says to me that you do know how to handle yourself. The Emperor is very calm and cool, can be overly assertive, sometimes aggressive, but generally controlled, logical, organised, and is usually considered a leader. Certainly a leader of oneself, but often considered a leader in terms of the community, in terms of how you conduct yourself, in terms of your expertise. So when you're dealing with this situation and having to defend yourself, stand your ground, stand up for what is important for you, take on board the Emperor energy. Cool, calm, logical, in control of yourself, self-managed, okay? And this will help you get the outcome. It's also, we always want to strive not to win a battle, but we do want to have a win-win for everybody. We're always wanting to ensure we have a good outcome, but not at the expense of others. We don't want to have, people sliced and diced along the way. So let's remember to temper that fire and come from a cool, calm perspective here. Look at the energy of the Emperor there. He's cool, calm. He's knowledgeable. He's got experience under his belt. And this can be you, Pisces. So that's very good advice in how to handle perhaps a few challenging conversations, and that's okay. You know what? We never want to burn bridges, Pisces. We want to sort of keep the peace because we never know when we're going to need those relationships in the future, and apart from that, we want to do the right thing by each other. Everybody wants to have a good outcome, and you can achieve that. We then have the Nine of Earth. So it would seem to me that you do manage the situation well, because the result of that is abundance. You're able to enjoy the fruits of a well thought out situation, well handled situation, and as a result, you get the chance to relax and to enjoy the outcome. And a little bit of time on your own to take all of this in is really beautiful. And this card is letting us know that, your self-employment is successful for you. This is what you love doing. This is what you're an expert at. And this, it's like this, the rewards that you get from having to stand your ground, stand for what you believe in. And it may be that you're defending the purpose of what you do, the service offering and the business that you have. You're having to really be clear and articulate that to other people and to stand up for what it is that you do and how you do it. And so you have to adopt this Emperor energy, and it may be that you're doing this, I would dare say it is, that you're doing this in a public space, in a public arena. And so the way you conduct yourself is really important, because it's not just about your reputation, it's the reputation of your business, and it's also about serving the people in the right way. And it would seem to me that you understand that, and you, with experience, getting better at this. And as a result, your business goes on to do all of the wonderful things that you intend. And so the message here is a successful outcome. I hope you can read that. I want you to see that this did pop out for you. Successful in your business, in self-employment, and you get to enjoy the results of you handling yourself and the situation well. Congratulations, Pisces, that's fabulous. And if we need to relate this to a personal situation, the same energy applies, in that conducting yourself and standing up for your character and your integrity and what your values and who you are and what you stand for and what you believe is as important, whether we're talking about a personal situation or business. To be honest, they should be the same. There shouldn't be any difference. And conducting yourself, Pisces, as the Emperor, and you can be a female here, you don't have to be male in this situation. It's about owning who you are and standing in your self-power and your strength. And that's very important. There's a lot of what's going on here. Spiritual building, spiritual transformation and growth, and solidifying your experience, and having some really good self-awareness at the moment. And you know this is happening to you because when you stand up for yourself and you actually voice what you believe in, you're hearing your own message, you're hearing yourself at the same time and reaffirming, yes, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. And you're recognizing that you are growing in confidence in a humble way, you know, that this is who I am and I don't need to apologize. And you actually don't need to defend, but, you know, sometimes we do need to articulate when the situation calls for it. Wow. Good on you, Pisces. That's really fabulous. You're coming into your own, and I'm really proud of you. That's wonderful. That didn't mean to sound condescending. I'm sorry. It's just a really positive sign for your growth, and I'm really happy for you. So we've got the Wisdom of Oracle cards here. Spirit, can you please let us know what else Pisces needs to know about the week coming in terms of energy, messages, actions that need to be taken. Okay, that's interesting. I just wanted to come out there. Yes. All right. I'm not a Pisces, so I'm sure you're going to know what this is all about for you. Part of this process, instantly I'm thinking about, I said before burning bridges or not wanting to burn bridges, and to me this card here, exchanging gifts, is all about how we manage relationships. In this reading, this is what I'm sensing. So the idea of give and take. Give a little, we receive a little. We're mindful of the other person as much as we're mindful of our own agenda. You know, we are open and listening to the other person's agenda. So there's an equal exchange. That's the energy that Spirit wants you to be mindful of. That, you know, when we're networking for business or when we're talking personal relationships and communication, the right way, the fair way, the better way to go about that is through equal exchange. Whether that be through gifts or whether it be through conversation, the principle is the same. It's about equal exchange, respect for self and for others in order to come to a win-win situation, in order to get the best outcome. So even if things start out a little bit rocky and contentious, we so can come to a win-win and a good outcome for everybody and for yourself. So to get there, it's all about equal exchange, fairness, reasonableness, understanding both sides of the fence, your agenda and theirs. It's an important and mature way to go about handling any conversation and any relationship, whether it's business or personal. And it would seem that, part of the process, I'm getting a sense that there's a bit of a learning around negotiation here and a maturing of how to handle when we're coming from a place of difference or different points of view. And so this conversation, this reading here is I'm sensing about negotiation skills and maturing and understanding about how to approach other people as much as how to manage yourself. So the round and round card here I am sensing is about the negotiation process, and this is what I'm getting in this reading. It may be different in other readings. So sometimes we can feel when we're discussing the same topic with the same person that we're going round and round the mountain and not getting anywhere. But to be honest, like all things in life, it is a process, and as we go through the process, we're learning and improving each time. So if we consider the mountain, if we were to go around the base of the mountain, yes, we'd be going around and around and not making any progress. But as we go up the mountain, yes, we may be seeing the same view as we go around, but we're getting higher and we're learning as we go, and the view is much higher and very different to down below. So with this card round and round, we're becoming aware that we are actually improving our ability to negotiate, our ability to understand the importance of communication, how to articulate what we're learning along the way. This is a process, and this is how we get to be the wise emperor, through experience. You know, it's a skill to do this, because we know from experience that we don't always agree with other people. And when we know that there's something that we want, but other people perhaps may not get you, we enter into discussion about that, and we appreciate that there are differences of opinions. But there's a process. If we know that we need to come to a resolution or an outcome, that there's a process on how to get there. So we've talked about equal exchange, listening, receiving, giving. It's a two-way process, round and round. It's a process of negotiating, and even if we feel like we're going over old ground, we're not, because we're learning as we go. It's important to remember that, because if you're not learning, you need to ask yourself, what are you not paying attention to? What are you not listening to? So if you've got the experience of going round and round the mountain and there's no change, it means that you're stuck, and that you can only control your own response to the situation. So if you're not listening, you've got to look at that situation, not point the finger at somebody else. So reflect, step back and have a look what's going on, what do you need to know, what's different from last time, and so on. And then part of all of this situation that's happening is that you are learning and growing. You're going through quite a learning phase here of the next week or two, Pisces, and you're recognizing you're moving away from your old world of where perhaps you weren't very good at negotiating, and you tended to dig your heels in and not listen. And the old you would be very confrontational and aggressive, and you'd get angry if someone didn't see your point of view, or you'd snap back, or you'd perhaps retreat and go really quiet. That was the old you. And we don't get a good positive outcome, and certainly we're not representing the wisdom of the emperor like that. But this reading is telling me is that you're learning from your old ways, and you're improving and growing. And certainly the emperor is a great negotiator, knows when to speak and when not to speak, when to step forward and when to pull back. Basically choose which battles to go for. And that's wisdom. So you're moving from this sort of childlike, immature, dig your heels in the ground stance to a new version of you, where you're able to listen, adapt, I should say, and to respect that there's more to a situation than just your own perspective. And that opens up your world to a whole lot of things where you can actually build greater rapport. And when it comes to business relationships, this helps you with your networking and how people see you as well. To be a recognized and respected leader, which is who the emperor is, we have to be very good at managing relationships in our life. And we have to learn. We're always learning, always. And so you're recognizing in yourself that you're transitioning from the old you to the new version of you. How insightful, Pisces. How beautiful is that? Okay. I'm going to pull some cards, if I can get them, the Psychic Tarot deck, and see, thank you, Spirit, what can we close this reading with? What else can Pisces know or understand for this period of growth and change that Pisces is going through? Really fantastic energy. And it's bringing abundance into your life, Pisces. Let's not forget that. You are having some breakthroughs as a result of this learning and this energy. A great teaching, self-teaching moment, I expect. And it makes you feel good. You're seeing it in yourself, Pisces. You actually don't need anybody to tell you that. You're seeing it in yourself because you're getting the results, basically. Yeah, and that's a good thing. You're getting the results. One more card, please, for Pisces. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is reconfirming the message that's out here, and that is you are going through a process of movement and change, and we know that from this here. So the energy is active, it's fiery, it's on the move. There's choices and decisions to be made in all areas of your life right now. This is an important part of the change that you're going through, Pisces. You know that you're transitioning from the old world into the old version of you into the new version. To get there can be, and this is similar to the Aquarius reading too. It's when we go through significant personal change, it's not a smooth ride. It never is. And so we've got a lot of heated energy around this card too, because there's action to be taken, choices to be made, decisions to be made, and it's affecting all areas of your life. These windows represent, your health, your relationships, your physical world, your mental well-being, and your emotional well-being. So, and your finances. So you've got a lot of things to consider, and it's going to take a fair bit of your effort, as we know through the Seven of Fire here, and that's okay. But it's a necessary part of the process. A good way to move into this transition is to be quite logical, which is the energy of the Emperor. Just sort of kind of be quite, so you don't go into overwhelm and you don't get into that fiery, impulsive energy is what we do when we're feeling out of our depth or up against a wall or pressured for time. We tend to react. But the Emperor plans well. The Emperor plans, sees the bigger picture, puts down a plan of what needs to be done, so you can be quite logical about the process. So if you know that this is coming, which I think you do, make yourself a plan and goal, and step out each area of your life, what needs to be done. So that will take away the overwhelm. It'll give you a nice clear map of what areas need to be taken care of and what outcomes that you want, so that when you go into this discussion when you have to take action for things to happen, then you'll be well prepared and you'll know how to tackle it. And certainly, you're going through a period of new growth. There's a new you happening here, which we'll come back to this in a moment. And, part of what you need, the energy that you need to really adopt and grow, is your sacral chakra. Your sacral chakra is connecting with your power center to really come from a place of inner strength and inner power and inner knowing. Sacral, I was getting confused with the solar plexus, but nevertheless, it's still the sacral chakra is your lower abdomen here, which represents your creativity, your creative zone, your sensuality. And what I mean by this for this reading is that really tapping into how you feel, your creative inspiration. This is going to help you understand why you're doing what you're doing. It's feeling into the situation instead of being in a headspace. You are needing to learn to trust your physical intuition. Your physical creativity and sensuality helps you to connect to people when you're in discussion and negotiating. When you allow yourself to intuitively understand where someone else is coming from. Now, I'm going to say something a little bit strange. When we're talking about sensuality, and even if we have a topic around sexuality, when you're connecting with someone, you're using a lot of your physical senses as well as your intuition to understand the energy of the other person and their intentions. So if we have this conversation from that point of view and you're understanding the energy, You can use that knowing and that sense in order to understand yourself and what's motivating you and driving you, as well as what's motivating and driving the other person. So really being in tune with your sensuality will help you to understand your why, your creativity, what you're trying to achieve in your business or your personal life or your personal expression. This is important to you, and you don't want to feel attacked in terms of how you identify yourself. What you want to do is flip that and say, this is how I express myself, this is who I am, rather than feel attacked at that energy level. Be confident in knowing your personal identity and use this to drive your reason for doing what you do, because you are unique in what you're offering the world. So if we're talking about your project, your passion, your business, you know what it is that you have to offer that's different to someone else. And this is part of the discussion when you're feeling like you're having to stand up to defend yourself or your business, because you know how you're unique and you know how it makes you feel and you know what you have to offer that's unique. Now that took a lot of words to come out, but I hope you understand where I was coming from. That creative sensual energy helps to drive you and give you that reason for what you're doing. And I'm loving that. With that in mind, you intuitively know that all of this process is worth it. There's big change happening here for you on quite a grand scale, because when something feels very personal to us, which I'm feeling it is very personal to you, Pisces, you are very passionate about defending that because it's personal. But so long as you come at it from a confident point of view, not from a point of view that you're feeling attacked, so then you can approach the situation, use the right kind of skills to get where you need to go. Because from a big picture point of view, you know you're going through a transition here. You know this, you want this, you're forward focused. And this card here, the fertility card, tells us you are growing something new in your life. You are becoming new and you are growing new things. There is a renewal. You yourself as a person is going through a renewal of yourself. I really feel that this old person is going for good, and there's a new person, a new you emerging, and this is your new you. The fertility is like a rebirth or a new birth, and you've got the beautiful, green leaves of, her hair is looking like a tree, and, coming from the heart space, there's a lot of beautiful spiritual energy and tapping into her purpose. Sometimes words are just not adequate, are they? But yes, so you are going through a rebirth, a new birth. And so that's the big picture here. So we've talked about how to get there, where we start from, and decisions that need to be made, the energy that you're feeling, sensing and knowing, and coming from a good place. The model of the Emperor is the energy you want to adopt to manage this well. You're improving your finances, your abundance in your life, your sense of well-being, everything in your life is getting revised, is getting renewed. You're making new decisions on all fronts, and that's good. And Spirit is helping you to understand how to get there through equal exchange, equal energy, doing the motions of what needs to be done. You're getting more skilled at negotiating. You're learning as you go because you're going through this amazing transformation. Now that was quite a reading. I hope you found that useful, Pisces. You're going through some big stuff here, but you're doing it. It's great. You're going to have a good outcome. Manage the process well and you'll get where you want to go. All right, I'm wishing you a fabulous week, Pisces, and I look forward to seeing you next time.